Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on, good question, March 3rd, 2025 at approximately 4:58 p.m. PST. Now, I have made it my life journey to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. I build myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the exact same tools I personally use in my day-to-day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are the same philosophies that I guide virtually every decision I make by. With this in mind, I know these tools will work for you as they continue to work for me. As they continue to work for me and have literally worked for thousands of other people over the years with varying degrees of success depending on their own personal efforts. Now, today we are at a day in the office, day 9. Okay, or episode 9, call it what you will. This one now, if you've got questions, absolutely, I don't care what the field is, really. Okay, ask away. This is just me puttering around the office. So if I'm up and mobile, that'll be why. And Operation, you are in with the gold. How you doing? Sorry I'm late. Got some phenomenal news from my credit card. I managed to to save it from actually going belly up. But I had to go and deal with it before I got here. Now, I could go into the long and short of it, but I have long held that if there is a way to make things happen, I will find it. Okay. Well, I managed to stop myself from losing a credit card that I spent 10 years building the credit line on. Okay. Oop, I don't need that. There we are. So now down to where we are. Where did I put that? Like I said, I end up moving around a lot because I've got stuff I have to deal with. What's that? Don't need to worry about that. Okay, that ain't gonna work. We pull on it left. Now, Frontier Study, how are you? Well, that was quick. That was actually my paper shredder. Oh, that is, it's not good that somebody was suspected of using your bank card, but it is a good thing they caught it. Now, where am I going here? Oh, I got up to do something here. Get this stuff moved up onto the counter and off my bed because I don't want it there. Now, neat part. Philip, how you doing? Frontier Studies is actually in with the silver. Philip Blair, you are in with the bronze. How's it going? Now, here's the thing. My life has been a shambles, as you well know. Okay, but the reason I ended up late is about 4 o'clock my time. I got a phone call from my credit card company offering me a sweet smoking deal to bring it back into balance and stop the bleed. Okay, as they put it, I've got 6 months. I've got to make a minimum payment that is manageable, and I can't use the card until after it gets done. Well, I couldn't use the card anyway, so I'm not really worried about it. So I've got that. I do need to see. I don't think I moved that. Oh, that's not the one I need. I require, where is it? Get things opened up. minimize that, and where is that? I got a whole pile of things I'm actually working through. Oh. I did not do January or February. Well, can't have that. See, one of the things I do to keep my life in order is this neat little issue. Is that February? Probably not. That's January. Now, where is February? What the heck did I do with February? Or did February get buried? No. Well, I didn't tear it apart, that's for certain. Whoop. I think that's it. See, I track my sleep on these. That's February. So, that's one of those neat things I have to do. See, years ago, I got thinking, which is a scary thought in itself, but I got thinking, people talk about requiring 8 hours of sleep. I got looking at it going, well, that doesn't add up a whole lot. Okay, I figured if you're sleeping 8 hours a day, not 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day, I'm looking at it going, you're sleeping a third of your life. Okay, a third of your life you're spending asleep. So I looked at it and went, well, I know if I sleep more than 6, I'm a disaster. So I turned around and went, okay, what happens if you cut your sleep to 4 hours a day, given that you don't lose quality of life? Okay, in other words, you're not tired, grumpy, your head still works, you get the picture. So on a whim, I calculated how much sleep what happens if you cut your hours to 4 hours a night. Well, when I did the calculations, and don't take my word for it, do your own research. But when I worked it out, I found that what you gain is about a month and a half extra living time over the course of a year. Okay. By doing that, now, by accident, because I didn't plan on cutting my sleep to 4 hours, but by accident, it ended up cutting down. And let's just take a look. Sleep tracker. Okay. In 2023, I started tracking my sleep. And I ended up sleeping an average of, what is it? An average of 4.99 hours of sleep a night. Okay. In 2024, I expanded that by a little. I ended up sleeping an average of 5.02. Okay. Now I don't know what 2025 is going to look like yet. I've got 2 months here that I can work on now. And I will probably do that. But see what we got going on. I am going to eventually look at getting for your edification type thing there, Philip. I am looking into getting my books onto audio, but I am not stupid enough to try and read them myself, not out loud. So, what do I got here? These are the ones I just paid, which is fantastic. I'll tell you, with what Canadian Tire did today, that's the company I've got credit card through. With what they did for the first time and I gotta look back. Let's take a look at my finances from 2024. If I go into, this is the odd thing that I usually don't do. Let's go file, open 2024 up. That one. Was 2024? Yep. Okay, 2024, I started dipping into the red. I'm just looking to see when it collapsed below the red. That's it. What the heck was that? I don't know. That is August 1st. No, I'm bounced there too. Geez, it feels like I was down a lot longer than that. September, October, even then I came up. I wasn't in as bad a shape as I thought I was. I kept dropping into the red, but that's December I started off in the red, so we close that and see January. Brought my hand. I have been literally for the entire, for the last year, bobbing just just at the edge. Only as of today, here we are. Where are we? Just missed a couple of things. Okay, we had Operation come in with the gold. Frontier Studies actually got the silver. Philip Blair is in with the bronze. And what do we got here? Oh, and there we have welcome to the show. And you have honorable mention, welcome. Now, let's see. Philip says, aliens, Earth Hive. I put this audiobook on last night as I was going to sleep. I woke up just as the audio was ending. Oh, there you go. Phil goes, if I had nightmares, I don't remember. But I woke up in a good mood. Usually there, Philip, if I have a nightmare, what you would call a nightmare, which really boils down to a body count, I usually wake up in a pretty good mood. But because I've been fighting so hard to try and keep ahead at all, I haven't been resting well in the least. But I will be looking into audiobooks. I'm actually sorry, I've got a list. Where is it? Not that. This. That has a sweet smoking deal on. I got a whole pile of things I gotta get done. But the neat part about it is when I started working on them, when I started putting the list together, I found that I had a whole pile of things just adding up in a hurry. So that one's done. That one's done. The office. That can now get put over there. Oh, and that one. This is paperwork on the dresser here that I've got to get rid of. Thin Lizzie, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Just a suggestion, Lizzie. If you're interested in actually remembering your dreams, when you wake up, if you remember that you were dreaming, even if all you remember is that you were dreaming, write it down. Okay. Even if you remember nothing but, I know I was dreaming, write it down. It will help your brain lock in on it. Now, I do caution you, I'm a firm believer that lucid dreaming, as in controlling your dreams, is a bad idea because it knocks out the usefulness of it. Yeah. Now, I'm looking at this. This is that list. Now, as you can see, I've got a list that's fairly extensive. I just didn't check anything off today. So that gets sorted out. Oops, gotta check that because I did the editing on that. As a matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, why don't I do that? let us bring up Positive Perspectives. And yes, by the way, Positive Perspectives, what we've been calling a newsletter. The only difference I found between a newsletter and a magazine is a magazine seems to have a front cover. Therefore, the last 2 months, while I've been fighting with a massive problem, I've gone and revamped the whole thing. Positive Perspectives is now a magazine. It has a front cover. Don't know if it'll have an index. I'm still working on that. Probably should. What do you figure? Because I'm just revamping it to come out at the end of the month. Like at the end of March here, in time for April. But with that in mind, let me ask you this, guys. I'm going to be putting this out, and we're doing a revamp and organizing things. In your eyes, now the magazine comes out only by email and only on request, but it is totally free. In your eyes, for the April edition, because understand, this is going to be what happens. This is what we're setting up to make happen from here on out. In your eyes, what day for the April edition? I want it in your hands before April 1st. But in your eyes, if you're getting an electronic magazine, what day would you like? Do you think it would be best bringing in on, or a ballpark sort of thing? Absolutely, I'm asking for your input. Now, what do we have here? That magazine had 9. That's what we did then. So, we did edit Positive per 9. Now, yes, I am actually working on the computer, which is odd to start with. Now, there we are. So, we've got that worked out. Not going to sleep. I do have to do that. So, take this. And we go. Journal 2. Got a whole pile. And we did that. Did that. Oh, I was trying to do that. That's right, too. What's that? Oh, okay. Cameron got to work. Ads that have to come up. Oh, there we go. Talk about adding a pile of work into my list. Okay. Operation no. Not necessarily the day of the week, but certainly that'll work. Like Welcome to the Show has said Friday for the weekend. Okay, so with that in mind, why don't we do this? Let me take a look at the calendar just because I have it here. Let us take a look, because this is where I start making decisions. Here's the thing. I used to do the online horoscopes for a company. I've been doing it for 14 years. As of the 27th of February, 26th or 7th, I got told the 28th, the company is closing. I'm no longer doing them. This said, it is now time to really push the limits and start turning Inner Voice Enterprises, my company, into a going concern. 28th, we go down to April. Okay, why don't we do that? Makes sense. So, here's what we're looking at, and I'm just marking it down so I know what I'm doing. This is where you guys come in really conveniently. Thank you so much. So, we will put Positive Perspectives out on the last Friday of the month. So it'll vary day to day, but the last Friday of the month, just like the first Friday of every month, I'm on Spaced Out Radio. So that solved that problem. Okay. With that in mind, I can start making things happen properly. Yeah, that's my filing cabinet closing. Whole pile of paperwork here that I gotta get rid of and what have you. But the nice part about it, it's weird, you know. The last couple of years I've been fighting tooth and nail to survive. And now I finally get this piece of news. Here's the other neat little thing. Okay, now you've got a date to look for. Okay, and much more importantly, I've got a deadline to work on. This said, I am absolutely accepting submissions. Now, this is a free magazine. So understand something very critical. I am accepting free submissions, free articles, or more to the point, articles from you guys, or simply announcements of a positive nature. And yes, this means I don't pay for them. Understand that I'm not making money off them aside from what sells. But there's all kinds of leeway there. With that in mind, when I'm talking about positive things, if you know of a wedding that you want to let people know about or a graduation, I don't care if it's a celebrity. Okay, a so-called celebrity. Miranda Lambert wrote a song. Absolutely, Philip. Now, to be clear, I take money quite readily. I just don't do anything for it. I just don't do. I'll tell you flat out. Well, years ago, I had a client, or not a client. I had a guy come to me. And he looks me dead in the eye. He goes, look, if I give you $1,000, will you pass this message on? And I looked at the guy, and I knew the law, that the thing, I knew that the thing, that whatever he was going to say was a lie. So I looked at him and I went, tell you what, I'll take the $1,000. Sadly, he thought. He looks at me and goes, well, what about the message? I said, look, I'm not about to pass on. I'm not about to lie to anybody for anything. Right? And he goes, well, why would I give you $1,000? I said, you're a nice guy. Oddly, he didn't actually turn around and give me the $1,000. But you are right, Philip. Free means no bribes accepted. Now, that said, if you go to the link at the top of the stream at www.buymeacoffee.com/innervoicej, you can, if you'd like to support what I'm doing, you can absolutely go through there to buy me a coffee, which is literally how you just donate with nothing coming back. Buy any of the books I've written, and they are now being turned into digital. I'm waiting for some to come back. Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. Susan Ahern, how are you? Glad you could make it. Yeah, I was the one that was late today. I was supposed to be on at 4:30, but with a phenomenal call from the credit card I deal with, which is my primary one, which is, and I don't mind telling people this, I deal with a Canadian Tire credit card. I was way behind in my payments, and these guys cut me a smoking deal to bring it back into balance and bring it back on track. Because he looked at it, he said, look, he says, you've been a card holder since 2014. So clearly this is something new that's happened. I says, yeah, and I explained it to him. He said, look, here's a minimum payment that we're willing to accept with a few provisos. He says, you make this minimum payment for your choice, 3, 4, 5, or 6 months running, right? You make this minimum payment, there will be no interest added, right? You just can't use the card for those 6 months. I looked at him, I went, number one, I can't use the card anyway, but that deal I will take hands down. Give me the 6-month run, which means I don't lose my credit limit, I don't lose my credit rating, I don't lose my card, and I don't lose my sense of pride that I built a staggering level comparatively of credit available to me over the last decade. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now. So, now what do we got here? Welcome to the show, goes excellent. Maybe tie in some of the SR discussions with the magazine. That I can absolutely do, and that's an excellent idea there, welcome. Absolutely it is. I just simply have to make notes while I'm going along, which really isn't a big problem. Now, remember that thing about a list. Now, I go back on, oh, wait a minute, what is today? Oh yeah, today is, where are we? We are in March. Today's the 3rd, so this Friday will be, okay, and here's the way that works. That is an excellent addition there, welcome. So yes, we will absolutely make note while I'm on Spaced Out Radio this Friday, and I will include that in April's edition. That is a fantastic idea. I was looking for ways to enhance the magazine and give it a little more substance. The reality of it is, I could go on and on about the negative things I've seen, but I'm not happy about it. So I'm taking a look at things, and I'm looking for a way to really, the way I'm feeling right now, I could bounce off the ceiling, in case you couldn't tell. But I mean, you take a look at it. There were people trying to keep my estate from me, trying to railroad me into literally destroying my credit rating, because we're not going to give you the money that's yours unless you drop this bill. I'm not dropping any bill. Okay. You sure it's not in there? I'll do it again anyway. But let's see. I wonder if I'm just having a problem with the way the link is. But that's the link there. I don't know if that works. Oh. I don't know why it's not doing. But I will have to look into that, because I don't know what I'm doing wrong with it, and I don't have the time to sort it out. That said, the link itself is buymeacoffee.com. Yeah, I don't understand. I appreciate that, Susan. Susan just letting us know the link isn't working, which it usually does. So, unfortunately, I don't know what's wrong with it. Let me see if that does anything. No. If you type that straight into your search bar, I know it works that way. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'll have to look into it afterwards. This is one of the drawbacks of not being technologically connected. I do apologize for that, but that link will get us there. But I'm looking for a way, because there are billions of people that sit there listening to somebody say, hey, the world's a shambles, and let's concentrate on who we can embarrass and who we can rip off. I don't understand it. I'm not interested in embarrassing anybody, not interested in ripping anybody off. I will, however, quite readily take donations. I will absolutely. Now, here's the neat little thing. Okay, just for instance, believe in yourself and follow your dreams. The physical copy, is $20 Canadian, virtually anywhere in the world. Okay, what you end up with it. And I mean, it isn't really a whole lot in my eyes, except I personally prefer the physical copy. Okay, but you'll end up with a signed copy and a bookmark attached. The bookmark literally says, "I am worth it." Okay, now for $20 you get that. For 10 you get the same thing in digital, except you don't get the bookmark or the signature. Now, I'm working on other books as well. It's time. In my world, Susan, in my world, strange computer glitches are just normal. But, so I've got that. What are these things? Let me call that up and see what I've got going on. I'm organizing it now, which is really the critical factor. Positive perspectives. If we go in here, let's go back to the top of it. Got stuff like that. I know what to do with that. Now, we are going to be dealing with coping mechanisms and what have you. I've got a whole series, and what I'm working on with positive perspectives is real simple. I'm working on setting it up so that I've got months set up ahead of time. Philip, it's funny. Philip goes, Olivia Newton-John was the same, physical. Absolutely. And I don't usually talk about this part of it, but Olivia Newton-John was the one artist that if I'd have had the opportunity to go and see her in concert, I would have. Okay. She's the only artist I ever would have done that for. Then Lindsay goes, I affect electronics all the time, especially when I get angry. Once the AC unit went out next day. Yeah, I never managed to go and see her. I would have loved to. To give you an idea, I understand what you're going and what you go through there, Lizzie. I was at the airport one day. I wasn't going through customs, but I was at the airport going through security, and I don't travel well, so I got agitated. And net result, I fried their entire 2 lanes of custom computers. Custom. Of the custom computers. I shut both of them down. In the bank, I got agitated years ago. I fried their entire main floor. Same with the insurance company. I'm not healthy around computers. When I'm healthy, computers have a major problem when I get agitated. So I understand that side all too well. But now what I'm looking at is, okay, how do we make, and I mean we, as in myself and all of you, because I only send it out by direct request. Okay, and by the way, get this. I walk over here, because I'm a dinosaur, I admit it. Here is my database. Okay, yes, I've got the different emails that go out, right? But this is my full database of emails for positive perspectives and all the books that I sell. Now, good luck getting a computer hacker to hack into this one. Okay. But I got to revamp that. And what I do here is I've got it tracked. Now, we all know word of mouth advertising is the number one method of advertising around the world. And it has been that way since time immemorial. Okay. I literally, all I've got to do is generate a high enough income to be bringing in, and I'm working out the thing. I do believe I can do it at $2,500 a month. Okay. Once I break, I've got to work it out, and I'll be giving next time on a day in the office. Yeah. And Lizzie goes, I like writing stuff down versus using my phone for lists. Absolutely. I've got, if you look at it, I've got how much? 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18, 19, 22, 24, 32 times 50. Holy mackerel. Now, I came across years ago, a sweet deal on loose leaf paper. Okay. 32 times 8. Whoop. No. 32 times 250. I kid you not, I came across a sweet deal. They were selling paper at $2 for a run of 250. And they went on sale for 25 cents a pop. To this day, I still have 8,000 sheets of loose leaf paper that I work with. So, that's got to be dealt with later today. Now, what I'll be doing, so watch for it. I will be posting on Facebook the different mainstream topics I'm going to be running over the next several months. If you have an idea for a regular article or a regular column in Positive Perspectives, even if you've got an idea that is of the same ilk, okay, in other words, of a positive nature, absolutely drop me a line. Right now, one of the biggest problems I've had, and I've all of a sudden ended up with a lot of room left over to work with. Okay, when the contract shut down, all of a sudden I've got an extra, I was using 2 hours, 2 hours a week, so 8 hours a month that I didn't have room with. Well, that was sort of the idea. I came across a sweet deal. They had them on for 25 cents a piece. So I went, let's clear out the line. And I did. Now, I've gone through in the last few years. Well, here's a neat thing. Welcome. Welcome goes, I'd like some positive environmental news. And there we have it, folks. Here's a job for you, because I don't watch the news. I do not have cable. I've got YouTube, I've got Facebook, but I don't have cable. And I certainly don't go out of my way to talk to people. Don't take that the wrong way. But if you hear of something that is of a positive nature, okay, absolutely drop me a line. Okay, I will quite readily add it to the regular outlay. And yes, if you submit it, you can bet I only need 2 things from you. Okay. I just need to know that this is where you got it, and that that you're the one sending it. I will credit you with the submission. Now this is the thing. I don't do a whole pile of fact checking. In other words, I don't research. But the moment I find somebody is sending me things that are of a problem, where are we at? Joe, how you doing? Glad you can make it. Did I miss something here? I don't think so. As far as ringing goes in both ears, if it is coming from some kind of frequency from the other side, how long do I pay attention to it? If that makes sense. Joe, in all honesty, that makes a lot of sense. Now, the first thing you look at with ringing in both ears goes, check the rational and the logical, quantifiable side. Check into whether or not the doctor says you're dealing with tinnitus. Okay, because you may be. If it is a ring, that's your most likely. Okay, that said, as soon as you know it's there, if it's persisted for more than a week, I certainly recommend getting it checked. Okay, if it's a buzz, kind of like hearing a mosquito, literally what you might be dealing with is one of your guides. And regarding that, you literally just simply thank them for slowing their speech down. If you come from my generation, you remember the 33 LPs, 45 78s. And if you took a 33 LP and ran it at 45, you couldn't hear a thing. It was just a high-pitched whine. Thank your guides for slowing the information down. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, because that's your two most likely issues. Now, I was trying to see, of course I get sidetracked because, well, I swear I'm a kinder on occasion. Oh, Flutterby. Yeah. But I do, and there are a couple of regular submissions that are going in. I'm getting them written out right to the end, and then I'll just submit them. But with the Elderbachian Chronicles, okay, with these neat little things, finally got my head on straight. I am pushing to complete the third one. Okay, but the primary characters, I'm going to be in Positive Perspectives under the entertainment section. I'm going to be including a little bit of the background of each of the primary characters, starting with the wolf pack itself. There we go. So we do have that, and of course, we're also going to walk through the growth curve that Inner Voice Enterprises is going to go through. Quite frankly, I've got this little idea. Okay. We've got billions of people listening to the world, listening to our so-called leaders. And I call them so-called because they go, oh, we've got a shortage of this, we've got a shortage of that, we're going to war, let's see who we can kill. And there's got to be people we can embarrass. Okay, there are. And you're more than welcome to go find them. Okay, now that is entertainment. Where are we here? Career, we're going to be, we've got what's happening with Inner Voice. Where are we? Paranormal, we'll cover some of that. And under the paranormal section, already decided it was suggested, and sad to say, I forget who suggested it, but we will be, I think it was Welcome, we will be putting a synopsis of some of the stuff that was discussed in Spaced Out Radio. Wolfpack, there we go. Career, we'll be covering, oh yes, we've got a section here that we're going to be covering. And what I've decided is with certain areas, I'll put a topic in with bullets, like how attaining success in your life is bulleted right now. Okay, for the April edition. But I will also be doing every month until that bullet is done. You'll get the in-depth writing on it. And of course, the birth of the empire. And then if we go down to, okay. That right now is where we're standing. How is that for absolutely confusing? Yeah, where are we? Go to there. Oh, nice. Welcome to the show is just going, I had tinnitus recently. My doctor adjusted my blood pressure meds, and it slowly dissipated. Okay, which is fantastic. I'm not a medical doctor, guys. All I know is what has worked for me. Okay, like I've got this funny little thing, like, really? Oh, grabbed the wrong one. I strongly recommend if you're looking at blood pressure issues. Now, this is a home run blood pressure machine. I keep an eye on it for a lot of reasons. Well, let's face it, my blood pressure's been an interesting setup. But I keep on handy if you've got blood pressure problems. I would absolutely recommend getting one to keep an eye on things. Now, just a heads up, guys, because I'm doing my best to get on a regular schedule. Yes, I was half an hour late coming in today. I'll finish that thought when I get back. I have this funny little problem. Coffee cup. Oh, not a good setup. So I will be right back. And we are back. Terrible thing with coffee, it runs out. Yeah, the reality is we turn to doctors for help, and I absolutely encourage you to do so. This is why I say if you're on a medication that is working for you, stay on said medication. If you feel better, this is fantastic, but stay on it. As you make adjustments to your lifestyle, if you've got a doctor worth half his salt, they will spot a lack of utilization of the medication and cut back on it for you. Absolutely bring it to their attention, but stay on the medication. Understand, I'm not a good example for doctors. I'm really not. But I am, in my opinion, a good example. Where are we here? Welcome goes, well, oh, I can recommend a real strong one for you. It's real easy to do there, Welcome, and thanks for asking, because there's a lot of people sitting on it. Come to think of it, I should do that, shouldn't I? I'm going to put a small article of that into April's as well. Because there's a real simple method I use. I can actually do this meditation while I'm walking around. Okay, or while I'm standing up. But, okay, if you're looking for a meditation technique, and this one it will help you meditate, it will also lend focus to your healing. Let's hit refresh and see what we're looking at. Did I have a massive drop there? I think so. Nope, I did not. Okay, what you do, find a comfortable place to sit, a comfortable way to sit while you are wide awake. Okay, if you do this when you're tired, there's no harm, but I will tell you, you'll end up getting a really good sound sleep. But just sit down somewhere where it's really good, where you're comfortable. I recommend some place where you can put your feet up, be it a recliner, a couch, even if you want to stretch out on the bed, if you're wide awake. Okay, don't do this silly thing, in my opinion, getting into the so-called lotus position. I don't find that relaxing. I dislocate both my knees when I do that. Not a relaxing feeling. But you sit down, don't grab hold of your wrist or check your throat. Feel your heartbeat. just concentrate on feeling your heartbeat. Okay, while you're doing that, while you're doing that, you concentrate on one word: heal. Okay, what that will do is it will trigger your body's autonomic healing system. Now, I shouldn't say it'll trigger the autonomic one. It will enhance your body's natural healing rate. And Joe is going, well, no serious paranormal activity in the cemetery at night in a long time. I know something is always happening is always back there happening. That's my eyes that my eyes just don't see half the time. Just a thought. Take a look. Just a thought, Joe. Like I've mentioned before, when you're looking for UFO traffic in orbit, take a look at the cemetery. Look at if you can get a clear view on a tombstone, on a tree, doesn't matter. Look at that and see if it goes out of sync for a little bit. Okay, because what you might be looking at is there's a tree right there, and you may have something come across in front of it that blocks part of it out momentarily. If that occurs, you're witnessing an energy pattern go across in front and between you and said item. This will undoubtedly help you focus a little more on what's going on. Okay, where are we? What? Sure. That always works. So hopefully that description of the meditation helped their welcome. But for April Pottsburg, I got a lot of work I'm going to be doing tonight. Oh, welcome, Ghost. Really appreciate that, Keith. I'm recovering from surgery, and heal is great advice. Here's a neat little piece for you. Okay, now most energy healers turn around and tell you there's 7 major chakras. Okay, the really good ones tell you there's 9. At present, I do believe last count was 37. Now, way back in 2010, I snapped my right arm. I snapped it to the point that they had to bolt it back in place. Now, what I did with that technique I just was talking about, okay, started tracking my heart, following out to the tips of my fingers. In my case at the time, I had hair that came down halfway down my forearm. I could feel my pulse all the way to the end of my hair. But here's the real kicker. My arm was bolted. Okay, and they put a bandage on it because they operated. So I took my hand. You've got 5 major chakras on your hand. Well, 6 major chakras on your hand alone. Okay, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I took my fingers, curled them, so I had them on either side, and all I did was run them slowly up and down the length of the cut. Okay, with that word, heal, running through my mind. Now, I'm not, this is not a question of you can do it this fast. I don't know. Okay, but I ran my hand down, just concentrating on the word heal. Now, I broke it on March 3rd of 2004. On March 12th of 2004, when I went back into the doctor to get the bandage removed from the surgery, they checked the bone. Now, I've been told I was looking at anywhere from 4 to 6 months before it started to heal. Samantha, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Oh, there we go. Thank you so much. I will be there. Assuming I don't drop dead before then. That's what, no, Lord, no. They told me I'd be 4.5 to 6 months just to start healing it. On the 12th, when I went back in to get the bandage removed, they did the x-ray. I had completely healed the bone in 9 days. Okay, now this is one of those few things that are on record at the hospital because it didn't happen on a military base. I healed so fast they couldn't even cast it. I'd love to know what I did with the bracelet they gave me for it, though. But the fact that I can do it, and I'm going to steal this from somebody that said it a long time ago. All that I do